Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a G550 G Wagon. Before we get into this review, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz in Draper, Utah for giving me some time with this G Wagon. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions, need any help, just ask for Corey. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 416 horsepower and then 450 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 13 around town and then 16 on the highway. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys will notice that this one is finished in the matte black paint job, which just looks absolutely fantastic in person. And you notice that the turn signal indicators are also blacked out, and so are the lights because this has the night package. They even blacked out the brush guard, which is a really cool finish. It looks like it's actually, yeah, it's painted. That is so interesting. And then you can see the Mercedes-Benz emblem also blacked out. And then we've got parking sensors here at the rear. And oh, I love this. You can see we actually have some protection down below. But putting it all together, let me guys think about the looks here with this blacked out G550. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275/50/20 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels, this has the AMG wheels. So you've got the silver mixed with the blacked out elements. Then you got Mercedes-Benz on the brake caliper there. And then notice with the fender flares how those are blacked out. And this has these new blacked out side steps, which looks really sharp if you ask me. And then you can see V8 badge and then all the trim along the side also blacked out. And then here is your full side view with this blacked out G550. Now taking a look at the key fob, we've got our lock and unlock function, got the Mercedes-Benz logo as well, and just a nice finish overall. And then taking a look at the cargo space, we've got carbon fiber here on the handle, and then you can see the quilted design with this particular one. We do have a cargo cover built in from the factory. Being a G-Wagon, tons of vertical space. And then I've always found these ledges back here to be kind of like iconic with the trunk styling, if that makes sense. Got a little outlet here in the back too. And of course we get a nice clicking sound when you close it up. Really cool taillight design here, and then you can see the parking sensors. And you probably notice the recovery point up front, but we also have it in the back. And then this one has the upgraded shocks, so you guys can see that whole setup there. And then of course a solid rear axle. And then we've got the spare tire carrier. You can see that's also all blacked out. And so yeah, putting it all together, this is like the Batmobile of G-Wagons is a good way to put it. Yeah, look at that. Here's a better look at the side angle too with the lighting. Let me know what you guys think. Now inside, this one has the exclusive interior, so you've got really nice leather trim all over. You can see the quilted design, carbon fiber, and then you got heated seats for the rear, Burmester sound system with this, and then even the bottom has stitching on it. And then taking a look at the seats, you can see the stitching here, and then look at the trim all down the center portion, and I think that's nice looking. Legroom here in the back is solid, got a little storage pocket. We've got vents here in the rear, we've got our own climate zone in the rear as well, and then headroom, because it's a box, it's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see again with the leather trim and then the quilted design and all the carbon fiber and then the stitching that goes all the way down. Again, speaker for the Burmester sound system. Memory seat function, we got heated and cooled seats, all of our window controls, mirror adjustments that do power fold in, and they've got blind spot monitoring. And I've actually never looked at the payload of a G-Wagon, but 1,014 pounds, and of course we've got our Shockwell approved badge. And then look at the headrest there, you can see perforated all down the center portion. Pedals here, and then we've got our light controls, lane departure, parking sensors, and then you've got, again, the upgraded leather trim here on the dashing. Stitching goes all the way across. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around, and you've got paddle shifters there in the back for the 9-speed. Nice finish on the front with the controls. You've got stuff like adaptive cruise control, for example, voice command controls. And then you got your turn signal windshield wiper stock. This one has a heated steering wheel. Then we have the column shifter. And then full digital gauge cluster in the center. Now this is Mercedes not so new unit. So yeah, it doesn't have the same cool graphics as some of the new Mercedes-Benz models, but I don't know, I think it still looks great. And then in reverse, we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. You can see parking sensors front and rear. A really solid resolution with the camera as well. Now, taking a look at the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see that we can scroll through, not a touchscreen. It's controlled via a dial or a keypad. Again, it's Mercedes' older unit. And then we do have the drive modes, which will pop up here, also in the center screen. So Sport, Comfort, Eco, and then you even have a desert mode as well as an individual mode with this. You can see all the carbon fiber here. We got some ambient lighting as well. And then look at all the trim on the dash. And then, of course, the grab handle with more carbon fiber. And then you've got the glove box down below. And then we've got our vents here. All of our differential locks, so you've got your center, your rear, and your front differential lock activated with those buttons. And then your dual zone climate controls with the analog portion. Got a little clock and everything down there. And then more of that carbon fiber trim that covers up this whole area with the cup holders. And then this is the control stack for the infotainment system. We've got like your volume control on the side. You can see with the low range, it does have a 2-speed transfer case. And then your drive mode select, that'll automatically adjust the shocks depending on the drive mode. And you got your manual mode there. And then, yeah, not the biggest center console. It's kind of more like a Jeep in terms of the center console space. You can see the stitching here and then also on the side. And then this has the cool quilted, because it's got the exclusive interior right there. And speaking of exclusive, it's kind of hard to see, but we got this nice premium headliner here. It's on the little sunshades too. And then we do have a sunroof that's standard on the G Wagons. So here's the window sticker for this. You guys can see the standard equipment here with it. And then we do have the options. So there's your base MSRP. And this one's like pretty much as loaded up as you can get it. It's got the exclusive interior. It's got the night package and all of that. There's your total MSRP on it, $174,420. And let's sum things up. Talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, which is fantastic. You can see blind spot running through both the mirrors and throughout the rest of the rear. Being a box with a bunch of very large square windows, it's easy to see out of the vehicle. So there's a lot happening with the G550. This is most likely the last year for the V8 G550. Not officially confirmed, but they have released a G550 Final Edition, which is the exact same thing that they did with the E63 and with the C63 before they axed the V8s from there. And so, I'm pretty sure, I know that they did with the C63. I'm pretty sure the E63 they did the same thing. So yeah, the assumption basically is that this is no longer going to have a V8 in, well, the next year, the 2025 model year. So this is it if you want a V8 G550, or at least that's what it seems like. And so you're wondering, well, why get a G550? Why get a V8 G550? Well, first off, this is the most reliable version of the G Wagon. Also, because this is a brand new car, don't want to put a lot of miles on it. We're doing just kind of like a loop here. We'll get like a little acceleration, but I don't want to go on a normal test drive and everything because, yeah, I don't want to put a ton of miles on it. But anyways, yeah, the most reliable version, because this engine is under like no stress. This is a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with barely over 400 horsepower. This engine, I know that the G63 claims to have a hand-built engine. I think that's a little bit suspicious. I think it's the same engine as this. They feel the same, they sound the same, they drive the same, just different power outputs. And so this could easily put out like 600 horsepower. And so basically Mercedes has done the Toyota thing, right? Big engine and not under stress, okay? So that's the first thing. The next thing is the G550 is a lot more comfortable than the 63 because the suspension isn't as harsh. Even with these 20s, it is smooth, very, very smooth with the ride. Okay, so you've got more comfortable suspension, you've got better reliability, and this engine, apparently in this form, hundreds of thousands of miles you can get out of it. So the reliability is solid, and I guess this is what we'll use as our little racetrack here so we can see how quick this is, and we'll pop it into the sport mode. It's quick. It's still quick. It's more than enough power. Again, the G63 basically does a wheelie. Like, it is absurd. This just, it feels like more than enough power. It feels super, super solid. So when you put all of it together, the G550, I think looks better than the 63 because the brush guard being higher up, I think that just looks cleaner with the looks. You can get the same exact interior. You've got a detuned engine, so it doesn't have as much power, but more reliable, more comfortable with the suspension. And it sounds like this is the last year for the V8. It looks like they're gonna go inline six with a mild hybrid. It's gonna be much more economical. But if you were, you know, hypothetically looking to keep one of these for a lot of miles, then this version of the G550 would be the one to go for. I'm not saying the inline six is not going to be reliable, but I think that we can safely assume that a V8 that's not under a lot of stress compared to an inline six that's going to be under more stress because it's going to have more power than this, right, is probably not going to be as reliable long term. Let me know you guys think about the G550, but I think this is the G Wagon to get.